Hello, everyone. We are here on 91.5 WDBK with a very special guest today, Kevin Day, musician and part time music publicist.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, being kind enough to let us ask him a few questions today. So, as a music publicist, have you ever worked with an artist that made your job like really difficult for you?
Uh, Not often. Yeah. I I don't think that I've experienced that much.
No
There,
prima donnas or
no, not
anything?
quite. Yeah. It's like the artists, I can understand like it's a new piece of music, an album that they've put all this time and energy and emotion into, and there's a lot of passion behind it. So if they feel like something isn't going the way they thought it was going to go, I can understand there being a certain energy behind that, and try to keep that in mind if there is a rough patch. But uh, there hasn't been many experiences where yeah, I've had that happen. So
Well,
yeah,
good for you then.
yeah.
I would like to know, how did you first get into music PR? Was it like the love of music, communications, talent, or like a combination of everything?
A little bit of everything. So I have been playing music since I was, I don't know, 15. And so I've had bands and I've had to promote those bands myself. It's kind of just the territory. And I did an internship at a record label in uh, 2009, maybe 2008. And then started working there part time, and was doing kind of publicity for those bands on the label. But a friend of mine reached out in 2014 and was like, "Hey, we're putting out an album, and we want someone to do publicity. Will you do it?" And I was like, "I've never done this before for anyone other than myself and kind of the label." Um, so I don't know. But he was like, "Well, we want you to do it." So that was that, and I started doing publicity for bands.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool. Was it like you you did it for yourself, or you posted some things on social media that kind of like got gave them the influence to ask you?
yeah. So definitely social media presence for my own projects and for the label would, I guess, give him and other people the impression that I was capable of doing it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yep.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Carlos Torres.
Nice to meet you.
From 91.5 WDBK. I have a question. So how is life day in day out as a public relations
Oof.
professional?
Um. Well, for me, it's a little different just because it is part time. Um, but yeah, I feel very fortunate to work with the bands that I work with, and getting them extra attention and eyes and ears on their music. And it can be very rewarding, I think, when you see other people get very excited and engaged with their music. So I would say very rewarding.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I have another question. So how do you keep yourself organized, keeping with these artists?
Um, Google Calendars, just coming up with a schedule. I think it's super important. Emails, emails, emails. Um, a lot of people want to contact through social media. Excuse me. And I usually write back and say, "Can you put this in an email?" That way, it's just easier to track everything and have one email thread for information.
Okay, that's nice.
Cool. Um, so how do you determine like whether or not you should take someone on with a client? Like if you would work well with them, if they would work well with you, if they're reliable, like how do you kind of make that decision on who you're gonna take on?
The biggest piece of it is the music. You know, they send me a link to listen, and if I hit play and I my ears, perk up, then I'm already interested. So I think first and foremost is from like a fan perspective, just like if this is music that I would listen to, um, that means a lot. Excuse me. And then beyond that, it's the schedule that they have and that I have. If they're like, hey, um, this needs to come out by this date and I already have a heavy workload, then unfortunately I can't do it. But if I'm available, I'll make it work.
What it is mostly about putting the art before the business then.
Yeah, it is. For me, it's about putting the art at least, well, because again, for me it's a part-time job. So I have that luxury. But not everyone can do that. But for me, it's really about being stoked on the art.
Cool.
That actually goes into my next question, which is how do you measure success in a digital world?
It's a good question. I think it depends on what the artist wants. I think they all have individual goals, and if an artist comes to me and they're like, "Hey, we really want to see a lot of reviews around this release," and I'm able to deliver on that, then that's a win. Um, so it really just depends on what each artist is looking for.
All right, that's good. I also have another question. If you wanted to guide someone, what is it that you would tell them so that they can continue to pursue this type of career?
Um, be patient for sure. Uh, and just be a good person. I know that sounds really strange, but um, music industry can be really small, and I think you know if you don't carry yourself uh, a certain way and you're just rude to people and just don't have a really good energy, people will remember and it'll follow you around, and just not a good way to interact with folks. I think it's really, really wonderful to have anyone want to listen to your music. It's art, and there's just a huge world out there. And I think, you know, you should be very lucky to have anyone that wants to engage with something that you're making. So just keep that in mind, and just, yeah, be a good person, be very kind, answer emails. I don't know, just be a giving person. I think that helps a lot, whether you're being a publicist or a musician or just really just anything in general in life. Just be good.
Yeah, so I know there's kind of a balance between life and your career that you're pursuing. So are there a lot of hours you put in to cover these artists?
Um, yeah, it varies. It depends on what the campaign is calling for, but uh, yeah, I put a lot of hours in after work, and even just kind of like, I think it's really hard to like, it's not always just like sitting down in front of a computer and doing work. It's like, I'm thinking about things on the weekends, or something will pop up into my head and I'll be like, oh, you know what, that would be a good thing to pursue for this artist. So it's just kind of like always on my mind, I think. But I also think music is just kind of always on my mind.
I agree with that.
So
I'm right there
so
with
it's
you.
just like, it's just always present. And yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't kind of look at it as like working hours. It's just kind of like this thing that's always going on inside of me. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's how it seems.
yeah.
Cool. We're gonna do last few questions. I saw on your Instagram or your business's Instagram or something that you're putting on a music festival
I
soon.
am. Thank you for asking.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. It does look really cool. Next month in Philly, I think I saw.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, like, what's the process of like finding artists and bands to like participate in something like that, and then actually picking people? Like, how does that all work? It sounds like a lot.
It is. But also I've been lucky to get to know a lot of really, really smart, organized people over my time in music. So I have a lot of good people helping me. Um, but yeah, so part-time PR, I guess, as of this month, this year turned 11 years old.
Wow,
Wow.
And
congratulations.
thank you.
Congrats.
So doing a music festival has always kind of been something I've wanted to do and haven't been able to pull it off. And this year I was talking to my good friend Joe Polito, who he was the house buyer at House of Independence in Asbury Park a few years ago, and I believe talent buyer at the Troc at some point. And anyway, has a background in organizing shows and festivals and such. And I was like, hey man, I kind of want to do this, and will you help me? And he was like, absolutely. And we started off kind of small. So it's 2 nights at Ortlieb's in Philly, which I absolutely adore that club. It's like 100-person cap room. Um, and we're doing 2 nights, Friday, December 12th, and Saturday, December 13th. And it's 5 bands each night. And pretty much every band that's playing, I've worked with or have worked with one of their projects. So that was part of the selection process. And most of them are relatively from the area. U Vandals coming up from Florida, the Carolines coming up from Georgia, Hedge is coming down from Massachusetts. Um, so there's some bands traveling, but the idea was to kind of just like start small, make something happen, and then build on it each year. I've worked with so many bands at this point that I feel like I could do a festival for the next like 5 years with just the bands that I've worked with. So we just wanted to get something going. But yeah, tickets are available. 4333 Collective in Philly are helping put the show on. Ortlieb's and Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company is the sponsor. I work for Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company, so really stoked that they're involved as well. But yeah, if you like alternative, punk, indie, kind of everything in between, it's gonna be a really cool couple of nights.
Cool.
That is very amazing and right up my alley. So I will be keeping this in mind.
Right on.
My last question is what's your golden rule when pitching to like journalists? And what's a common mistake that you see publicists, artists, the new ones,
Oof.
when pitching themselves?
Uh, I think just you want to have all of your ducks in a row when you're making your pitch. So you don't want to leave out too much information where they're going to have to then uh, search for it online to get those answers, or even maybe respond. So a lot of these folks are opening thousands of emails a day. So you want all of the information to kind of be there for that person to access whatever you're sending them. So it's like, don't just send them a link to a private SoundCloud with no additional information. you know, they're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Mhm.
But also, you don't want to put too much out there either, where they're like going through 4 paragraphs of like introductions and this and that. It's kind of like you gotta make it count, because there's again thousands of emails that they're getting a day. So yeah, I think it's just really important to have all of your information together. Make sure it's organized, make sure it reads friendly, and makes it accessible to whoever you're trying to engage with. I think that's a really good starting point. Also, um, you know, I think it's important to be authentic, be yourself. Um, you know, whether the music that you make, all of that, I think it's important. It's really easy to get swept up in like, oh, well, this band does this and this band does that, and like try to mimic that or whatever. But I think it's super important to just be yourself. That's going to read through to people. Um, and yeah, just be authentic. And just, be semi-professional. I don't think it needs to be like super, super formal, but also not just like a
So yeah,
Hey,
yo,
what's
here's a
up?
link.
Send me this link. I
Right,
sent you a link.
right, exactly.
Gotta stay balanced.
Yeah, a
yeah.
nice balance for sure.
So I know there's a lot of background to everything that you do. So if you can say just one thing good about your job, what would it be?
Um, yeah, I think the best thing is just finding new music that I love. There's been quite a few instances where I get an email from a band I've never heard of, and they're like, "Hey, we've got this music that we want your help with, and like, can you check it out?" And I hit play, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, where's this been all my life?" And instantly, just like hitting play and having that feeling, and just being so overwhelmed with what you're hearing. I think that's the best part, right? It's just hearing new music and engaging with it. That's always been such a big thing for me. It's uh, I don't know. I think music has kind of always changed my life in that way, where it's like you hit play on something at the right time, and it just all makes sense. Everything in the world and everything in front of you. Um, so getting those emails and finding bands and artists that do that still and make you feel that way is the best thing in the world.
That's good. That's nice. That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, this has been really great. Thank
Right
you
on.
so much again for talking with us. Is there anything coming up? Anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, just the part-time PR fest in Philly. Grab a ticket for either night, and follow on Instagram, part-time PR. I worked with Banquets, the Carolyn, the, the Kilograms, U Vandal, Night Windows, Earth, um, all this year, and they're all great. Check them out, and I don't know, just be passionate about the music that you love, and you know it makes such a huge difference for bands. Like, if you love those bands, make sure you're talking about them, make sure you're telling your friends. It does make a difference. It makes a huge difference. Go to the shows, just support them. uh I don't know, I think that's the best part of all of this, is just connecting with music and loving it, and then letting other people experience that as well. So yeah.
And connecting not only with the music, connecting with each other over the music, which I think is really really important. Like,
Absolutely.
me personally, music is one of those things that can solve a lot of problems for me. Or like, even if I'm just going through something, I can always find a song that fits that exact moment. So I think that's pretty cool in what you're
Absolutely.
saying, and I think that relates.
Yeah, there's always a song for that emotion, right? There's always
Yes.
something out there. But I've been, yeah, super fortunate. I've traveled all around uh, the US, and I've so many important people in my life have come from music, playing shows, uh, going to shows, all of that. Super monumental, I feel like, in my life. Just music has been that glue for so much. So yeah, it's great, and take care of it and share it with everyone. And yeah, just support it very passionately, because I think it matters. It makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, we appreciate you of
Yeah, so
everything.
having all of us on 91.5, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Yes.
Thank
it's
you.
really
We
appreciated.
appreciate
on.
we appreciate you helping these guys out,
Right on. Thank you.
going above ahead, and hopefully we hear more from you, Kev.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.